Hi everybody, I hope you're having a great day. In this video I'm going to be covering Bor. Now Bor's real name is Bor Burison, and he stands 6 feet 5 inches tall and weighs 650 pounds, having blue eyes and red hair. He made his first appearance in Journey into Mystery number 97 in October of 1963, and his seeming death occurred in Thor issue number 600 in April of 2009. Now, Bor is an ancient Asgardian god who commands an unimaginable level of power that rivals and even exceeds that of the Odin force. With this power, he can control the elements such as wind and lightning, project powerful energy beams from his eyes capable of harming Thor, and can even bring great cataclysms with just a thought. He proved this not only during his battle with Thor and the Dark Avengers, he threatened to unleash sufficient raw power to even destroy the entire planet. He's also been shown punishing Odin for bringing life to Earth. He's also able to lift the Mjolnir hammer, one of the few worthy beings ever to exist able to do so. Being an Asgardian, Bor possesses superhuman physical strength. However, his strength is far superior to that of a regular Asgardian. He was able to match Thor blow for blow and even gained the upper hand once or twice during their fight, despite Thor being the physically strongest Asgardian. He also proved to be too much for the Dark Avengers. It's even implied that he can further augment his strength through the use of his godly magic as well. Bor can move at superhuman speeds and has exceptional stamina. A typical Asgardian can exert himself for about 24 hours before their bodies begin to feel fatigue. Since Bor is one of the oldest and strongest of his race, it's implied that he can push himself for far longer than that. Bor's skin, muscles, and bones are much tougher than even some of the strongest Asgardians as well. His incredible durability allows him to go toe-to-toe with some of the heaviest hitters of the Marvel Universe. He was able to withstand full-force blows from Thor's hammer, the same that were able to knock down Hercules with ease. Now, keep in mind that this is the same Hercules that held his own against an enraged Worldbreaker Hulk. Now, despite his godly durability, it is possible to injure him. However, even if he does get injured, his Asgardian metabolism allows him to heal most wounds very quickly, even more quickly than fellow Asgardians. And just as most Asgardians, Bor is extremely long-lived, being one of the oldest Norse gods in existence. However, he is still not immortal. He also possesses the Allspeak, and because of this, he can communicate in all of the languages of the 9 realms, Earth dialects, and various alien languages. Along with his powers, he is a master among masters in both unarmed and armed combat, favoring a Sith capable of withstanding blows from Mjolnir in physical combat, making him a deadly combatant in any situation. Now, his vast physical strength allows him to lift well in excess of 100 tons with ease, being able to match an Odin force-empowered Thor pound for pound in their first encounter and seemingly dominate that battle to a certain extent. Thor himself even comments on Bor's power, as Bor breaks Thor's rib with a single strike from the blunt side of his axe, and had it not been for the Odin force, he would not have survived the first blow of their battle. And it should be noted that as the powers of most Earth gods are weakened on Earth, the extent of Bor's powers was reduced during his battle with Thor, since they were on the planet. Now, part of Bor's backstory is that when his father, Buri, left the throne, it left Bor as the ruler of Asgard. A born warrior, he led his people in a time of power and prosperity and won their loyalty both through his leadership and also through his triumphs on the field. He was one of the gods who had created the universe, and along with his other accomplishments, was an unquestionable and powerful ruler. He took the giantess Bestla as his wife, and they had 4 sons, Kol, Vili, Vi, and Odin, who would be Bor's heirs, although Kol would be forgotten until much later. When Odin was born, Bor paid him special attention, grooming him to one day take his place as king, much as Odin would one day groom Thor. He personally taught Odin how to fight, how to rule, how to serve, and how to defend his dreams. Yet he didn't encourage his son to dream on his own, and when Odin went against him, he was driven to rage. When Odin created man, not being able to undo his son's actions, in his anger, Bor visited every possible horror imaginable upon them. Now, when the enemies of Asgard once again threatened them, Bor led his forces against them with his son Odin at his side. Together with his son, they proved too much for the frost giants to handle, and they beat them easily. When one attempted to escape, though, Bor, true to form, pursued his foe and fell headlong into their trap. A powerful sorcerer was waiting for him, who was actually the present-day incarnation of Loki in disguise, and knowing he couldn't match him power for power, caught him unawares, turning him into snow. Bor's son came around just in time to watch the last of him blown away, and he begged Odin to find a sorcerer to free him. Years passed, and Odin didn't attempt to save his father, instead leading Asgard on his own and following his own dreams. At first, Bor attempted to convince his son to free him, yet as the years passed on and a son was born to Odin, Bor realized that his son would never free him. Seeking revenge, Bor promised Odin that he would bother him no more if he took in the son of a fallen king and raised it as his own. Not even a week later, Odin killed Laufey, the father of Loki, who was a king. Odin took Loki into his house to please his father and set the events of his own doom into motion. What Odin never realized was that the Bor who had been torturing him from beyond the grave was actually just an illusion created by the present-day Loki. Now, later on, Loki, who at this time was in the form of a female, used her powers to undo the spell she had used to kill Bor and resurrected him in the modern day. However, Loki also distorted his sense of reality, making it seem as if Bor was in a nightmarish version of Earth overrun by demonic beings. Convinced that he had lost his final battle and that his son was dead, he almost immediately went on a rampage and was eventually confronted by Thor, who didn't know Bor's identity at the time. However, Bor saw Thor as a demonic being, and taking into consideration that the Odin force was emanating from Thor, he believed that he had killed his son Odin. Bor lashed out at Thor, and a huge battle broke out on the streets of New York City. As the fight went on, Bor was beginning to get the upper hand, and Thor knew he couldn't stop Bor unless he had help. Thor cried out, "Avengers assemble," into the heavens, but those who answered the call were not exactly the people Thor had in mind. Instead, Bor and Thor found themselves confronted by the Dark Avengers, along with Ares and the Sentry, who upon making their grand entrance went after both of them. However, Bor proved to be too powerful for the Dark Avengers and easily defeated those that were left behind after the Iron Patriot was tossed out of the fight by Thor. With the Dark Avengers out of the way, Bor and Thor resumed their fight. Blow after blow, neither Asgardian would give in, and things only got worse when Bor began unleashing his true power that could easily destroy the entire planet. With Mjolnir actually having been tossed to the side by Bor, Thor was forced to push his way forth against wave after wave of energy bolts, as well as beyond hurricane force winds in order to reach his hammer. Once Thor had Mjolnir back, he stopped the storm unleashed by Bor's power, and at that moment both Bor and Thor came at one another, each prepared to deliver the killing blow. In the end, Thor was the one who came out on top, and then both Loki and Balder arrived, telling Thor exactly who it was he had just killed. When Thor learned of this, he was overcome with horror and grief, but it was too late and Bor died. Thor was then exiled from Asgard forever due to killing another member of the royal family. The band stated that should Thor ever return, he'd be killed along with anyone who tried to help him. It has to be noted, though, that Thor was later pardoned by Balder and was once again able to live among his fellow Asgardians. Now, since this storyline, it should be noted that Bor has been reanimated by Hela because she had her own schemish purposes in mind. Now, due to his massive powers and abilities and his influence on the Marvel Universe, for my 1 to 10 rating, I'll give Bor a legendary rating of 10. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you next time. Be sure to like and subscribe to The New Sage.